doing something slightly different. We're playing cash games and tournaments. So we have two tournaments up and running at the top of the screen. There is a $10 classic one on the left and a $25 deep stack PKO on the top right. And then the two bottom tables are both 25 NL cash games. And we are now going to play our first hand in the cash games on the bottom right table. That's great. And yeah, let's see if we can do some damage today. I'm planning to stream for quite a while today. I'm gonna fold King 8 off against a raise from this short stack. And we already got a walk in the cash games. That is great. And in both of them, wow. That's quite a treat. I hope this doesn't say too much about the state of the games though. Queen 5 suited after the short stack raises again, definitely a fold. Queen 9 off and the cash is a fold, but then we have pocket queens on the bottom right on the button. 5-6 off will be a fold. So I late registered this $10 classic, that's why I have 28 big blinds. I think I'm probably just above the starting stack because I won a hand earlier. And here we can just go for a little 3-bet, of course, with our pocket queens against the low jack raise. And no further action. Yeah, so this week I've been playing a lot of live poker. Been doing the cash race at the Empire in London. And so I played a lot of cash hands there, but live. And so I was itching to play a little bit of online poker. Here on Coin Poker today, let's see if the games continue to be as soft as they were. We are certainly in good shape. We're hopeful. So yeah, I look forward to the session. Hopefully you do as well. Oh, and we have an all in here. Jacks versus Ace King. And Jacks flop a set. That's an easy one there. Okay, 6-3 off is a fold against two players. Yes, we're getting great odds, but it's just not something I want to get involved with. So yeah, it'll be interesting because I have to remind myself of on each table what we are actually doing, because I'm playing deep stack poker on the cash games, but then on the other two are very different as well, because I got a 200 big blind stack at the moment in the deep stack PKO, but then I got 28 big blinds in this other tournament. And we're gonna join a few more tournaments. I think in about 20-25 minutes I will play another one. Okay, we have pocket nines in the big blind in the tournament where we have a starting stack of 28-ish big blinds. And we are getting raised, so I think now we can just shove against this short stack. And he folds, that's okay. Definitely I think it's a good idea to shove there. Seven, 3 off will be a fold, of course. Queen and off against the 3x raise. I'm just gonna play this cautiously and fold. Okay, here we have King 9 suited on the button. I think in the tournament, even though short stacked, we could call. The only problem is the small blind. He is short stacked, he might jam. That wouldn't be great, and yeah, that's exactly what's happening. So we'll see what the other players do now. This was probably a mistake simply because of that. I think King 9 suited would be okay to raise otherwise. Not to raise to call, I mean. And because he folded, now we're getting such great odds, I have to call this one. We're not in great shape against pocket jacks, so unfortunately we lose this one. But we got the right odds there once we got involved, unfortunately. So yeah, I kind of thought, but the guy hadn't really played a hand, so he just woke up with pocket jacks there. And we have Jack 10, the small blind in the cash game. So 5 off is a fold. Getting 3 bet. And with Jack 10 off, this is a call, I believe. Okay, we'll flop the flush draw. Now we also have a... So we are going to go for... Well, actually it's a 3-bet pot, so we don't have to overbet it. Go in 18. The ace might have helped him, but if it hasn't, then I think I can get him to fold. And I do get him to fold with my jack high. That's great. Queen 10 off, definitely raising on the button. 9-8 suited. I'm gonna raise this one and the deep stack one. And 5-6 suited is a hand that I will sometimes 3-bet. That's like my favorite suited connector. So I will raise this one, and we get called by the small blind. And the other player calls as well. Not really a great flop for us. Against 2 players, I think I will have to give up. Not going to c-bet here. I have a couple of backdoors, but not even overcards or anything, and this kind of hits their range a bit, so I'm not too keen on that. Now I've picked up some showdown value, but when he bets so big there and then we have a player behind us, I'm not going to call with 3rd pair, so I have to be out, unfortunately. Oh yeah, the other player folded as well, but that's okay. Pocket 3s in the big blind. Kings versus a7. All in on that table. Right, so unfortunately there is a 3-bet, so I have to fold my pocket 3s. And 4 off, and hit the muck. Jack 7 off, can hit the muck. Yeah, so let me know if you have any questions this early in the session, whether it's about the session or coin poker or the poker world in general, or live poker, or whatever you would like to know. We have a lot of time today, and I'm very happy to engage. So do let me know. Queen 8 off because of the antes and because I'm probably not going to get 3-bet enough. I'm happy to open this one on the button, even though in GTO world I think Queen 9 off is the lowest one to open. Well, I do get 3-bet now by the button, so we are at the very bottom of our range, which means we have to fold. Right, so here in the we got picked queens again. In the tournament, I was gonna say we're quite low down. Right, king 9 off against 3.9x raise. I still think I'm gonna call, and here I am going to shove my ace 9 suited, and this guy now bets pot. Well, I have the gut shot. We are quite deep, so I'm okay to call there. You know, it's half pot. It's just that does kind of seem odd, but am I going to wrap a queen now? Gonna just make it 29 big blinds. Did call though, quite quickly, and now he just donks pot once again. Okay, so at this point I will have to fold. That's okay. It was worth a try, even though, yeah, he did kind of scream strength there. Jack 10 off. I don't want to 3-bet. I could have called there, but I'm not sure. And with 3 deuce off, I'm just gonna fold, not even going to limp. Yeah, so forgive me if I make mistakes in the tournament. I'm just playing them for fun. I am more of a cash game player, as you might know. So I opened Jack 3 suited. I got 2 callers, flop bottom pair, quite deep stacked. Let's see what they do. The small blind is still tanking. They both check to me. I am going to c-bet this one with bottom pair because anything I can clear out, any overcards are great. I do get called though. The 8 pairs, there's a second flush draw out there. I'm just gonna check this one now. And the backdoor flush draw comes in. Let's see what he does. If he checks, I will just check behind. I don't think I can get anything better to fold. He doesn't. He overbets this. Well, he's basically saying he has got an 8 or nothing. So, do I want to bluff catch in this situation? I minimally filtered him here, but he seems to be a little bit more on the passive side. He could have an 8 there. He could have. And the question is, does he ever turn something like pocket 4s or 6s into a bluff here? And I don't think so. So I think it is probably close, but I'm okay to fold this. I prefer to overfold. Right, we can open ace-9 suited, even though we have a fairly short stack of 19 big blinds. Ace-4 off, fold, ace-3 off from the small blind. Can open this one. Okay, 3-bet once again by this player. It's a bit annoying, but I will actually I'm gonna go with a 4-bet. And here this guy just donks into us. I'm still gonna call. And he bets again, so I am going to fold. This guy asked me something here. Bro, are you the guy who active in poker theory? I'm not entirely sure what he means. I believe this is a range bet in a 4-bet pot, even though I don't know small blind versus big blind, but I think it still is. I still have all the big hands. Here with king 10 off we can call. I'm not going to continue barreling. And here we just check. Right, so he now shoves, saying that he has got a good ace, basically. We have a weak ace, obviously. But why shove here? I mean, yes, there are draws out there, but I still think I need to call with my top pair in this scenario. But he does have ace queen, fair enough. So he did get me there. We can 3-bet ace king suited. Yeah, I was just a bit confused why he would jam an ace there. A good ace, but I guess he got nervous because of the flush draw. So yeah, that once again testament as to why you should overfold at small stakes, whether it's live or online. It was just the second time that the guy had 3-bet me. Which is why I then 4-bet there, where I probably shouldn't have 4-bet. But we don't want to be results oriented, so we can just continue. That's all fine. Okay, we raised queen 3 suited on the button. We got 2 callers. We are going to c-bet this again, even though we're up against 2 players, but we have position. They shouldn't have connected super well with this flop, although they might have some gut shots or so. We do get raised. And this is one of those where we can just try to re-raise. Make it 27. Because this guy 3-bet me from the big blind before when I opened the button. So yeah, he was just pushing buttons there. This was a purely exploitative 3-bet on the flop. Well, that's how you keep your red line intact. Okay, let's open pocket jacks in the cash game. And unfortunately here in the tournament we're running low on funds, just 9 big blinds. Okay, so we are getting 3-bet by the cutoff. Okay, this is a nice one here. Ace queen off. Let's just jam. And I'm gonna call with my jacks. There's no point in 4-betting. Oh, there is merit in that, but I'd have to fold to a jam. Flop, not ideal. He goes pot, which is quite surprising, but I am going to call once. If he continues barreling and he continues going pot there, that is... I'm just gonna fold if he pots it like this. He seems to have a big hand. Like this is not a standard play with potting flop, potting turn. And here I'm just gonna give up with king, queen 3 I mean. Unfortunately with the kings, well, we do get some action. Gonna c-bet this one small. You get check raised, that's okay. Definitely calling the check raise. Okay, now we lose to an ace, which is not great. Still think you can have a draw. And I'm gonna shove 8-6. Okay, he checks now that the flush comes in. That's actually not a good sign, because he probably has a decent hand, but I'm just gonna check behind, and he does have the ace there. That is very unfortunate. Very unfortunate, but hey, this is how it's going. Queen Jack. Once he raises there, do I want to shove this? Against this guy, he keeps doing that, so I think I have some fold equity. Yep, and I do get him to fold. That's great. Okay, Queen Jack offsuit is a fold after the raise and a 3-bet. Okay, we have ace-10 suited. This is an awkward stack size. 14, almost 15, but I'm still going to jam it. And I get folds all around. That's fine. Ace Jack suited, and cash. Raising it on the button. Just gonna go for the range bet. I do like to range bet in position. And the reason is because players still overfold to c-bet. Okay, Jack 6 off. We're gonna just call if he's giving us such great pot odds. He c-bets again. Don't have much, but we can raise this one because you won't want to risk much without a good hand. And now he jams this turn, so I have to fold. Nothing I can do. And we're getting 3-bet once again. In the cash game this time. With pocket sevens, I could go either way. I could raise. I'm just gonna 4-bet this. We're getting jammed on. Okay, I'm really bringing all of this upon myself today. I think exploitatively I will have to fold here. I have to call 74-ish. I mean, I'm ahead, of course, of ace king, ace queen, and so on, but he just has a lot of really strong hands. Then he is probably a bit more on the passive side. So yeah, another one that didn't go very well for us. And we're on break on the tournament, but we're continuing with cash, playing through the break so that it's not boring for you guys. Even though we only have 2 tables now instead of the 4 for the next 5 minutes. But I think that's okay. I see more and more people are joining. That is excellent. Welcome to the stream. Today we're doing a hybrid of cash and tournaments. We're gonna start another tournament soon. Let me see when that is. In 8 minutes is the $10 Deep Stack Turbo tournament. So then we might have 5 tables open. Well, it might be a bit much, but I'll see how we get on. By then I might be out of this $10 Classic tournament where I only have 10 big blinds. That's actually a good point. I want to see I'm 17 out of 23, 6 getting paid, so still quite a way to go until we make the money. So let's focus on the cash games for now. We're opening ace-jack offsuit in the hijack. Getting 3-bet again, this time by the cutoff, which is the same player. I'm gonna fold now. I 4-bet him earlier and it went wrong. Yeah, quite aggressive tables today, and also I've just not played great, I must admit. Okay, we're checking queen 8 off against these limpers. Gonna check and see what they do. Well, they checked again. So now I'm just gonna overbet this one. And we get folds, that's great. That's the thing, like if you limp on the button, you're not gonna win it unless you hit. And now I won a pot in the big blind where I would never have been in there. 7 deuce suited in the cash game. I am going to 3-bet this one. I don't know if 7 deuce suited is exactly a GTO hand to 3-bet with, but I do know that some hands like 10 deuce suited, 10 4 suited definitely can go for the 3-bet. So I think I'm okay doing that with 7 deuce suited as well. Okay, jack 8 off. I'm gonna throw it away, but I just want to make notes here about these players that they limp. So what I do is I just write OL for open limp, because then I know that they're probably not the sharpest players. So tournaments are back. So again, if you missed it, I'm playing a $10 deep stack, no sorry, a $10 classic on the top left, and a $25 deep stack PKO on the top right. I'm on 8 big blinds on table 1 and 85 on table 2. The ace-8 off, I am going to raise it. I know it's a bit loose, but I think I can get away with it. And in cold, and I'm just going to range bet. Here I'm going to jam queen 8 off. And we get it through. That's excellent. And we also got the bluff through on the right. Okay, in the cash we have ace-5 offsuit in the big blind. That's a fold against a 3x raise from the cutoff. You know, do we have enough fold equity to ever jam this? Don't think so. And with this small blind calling, I'm just gonna fold. Seems a bit nitty, but we would have missed anyway, so that's fine. Okay, we're getting 3 bet, and because there is a cold caller, I am going to call this as well. We're still kind of deep enough, and this is not a bad flop for us. This guy now comes out donking half pot. I'm going to call. Oh, and we got the 5th table on. So what I will do is, well, can't really do much. Okay, so this guy jammed now. Here we are definitely going to jam queen 8 off. And we're getting called by pocket 9s. That's not great. And we're out. Okay, well, at least we've got a problem less. 55, 20. So how much is that? 55, 10, 20, 30, 85, 105 to 55, 2 to 1. We are just about getting the right odds, and it's a PKO, although we are covered, but still, I am just going to call. And we do have quite a few outs. We miss all of them though, but we had outs because both the queen and the 10 were out, so we busted in both tournaments at exactly the same time. Except that, yeah, this is done. Right, so this one's done. I can get out of it, and the other one will also be done. So I will find a new tournament for us to play. But I think it was okay what we did there. I am happy with how I played it, and it was fine because we had 9 flush outs and 6, maybe he had the eight of clubs, so maybe it was 8 flush outs and 6 pair outs, so that is plenty. That's 14 outs. That is, well, probably even maybe slight favorite against his pocket eights. Well, it was around 50-50, so that was definitely a good spot there. And here we have King Jack suited, going to raise. Right, so this one is gone, don't need to worry about it. And once this hand is done, and I have a bit of time, I'll find a new tournament to open up. We have top 2 pair now, which is very good. So this is a spot where I'm going to go pretty big with the overbet. But unfortunately, this time he folds. Right, so what can we play? There are late registrations available. The $5 Classic, the $50 PKO. I don't want to late register PKOs though. And if you don't know why, ask me that in the comments. I'm happy to answer it. There's another $25 deep stack. The other two are satellites. So, oh, pocket kings. That's a nice hand. Let's just raise this one over a limper and a razor. And we'll find a tournament after this hand then. Ooh, we're getting a min click by the limp razor. I mean, that's often aces, but I'm never gonna fold, so I'm just gonna get it in here. You might have ace king, you might have queens. Yes, Jack 10. What? 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 Oh my goodness. Well, that is a great one. That's just basically, I mean, not basically, that is an absolute gift. That is an incredible gift. Thank you very much. 5-6 suited, checking in the big blind. Flop middle pair is super deep stacked, so just checking. Okay, the thing is, this guy who just basically stacked, but he still has 0.68 big blinds behind, which is like 17 cents. He bets. I mean, I'm not gonna fold for 10% pot, but also I don't have anything, so I need to check it down. Here I'm just gonna fold in a multi-way pot, and the guy wins with pocket threes. Okay, yeah, we wanted to find a new tournament, so I am gonna play the $25 deep stack one in 6 minutes, and then potentially that $50 PKO one in 21 minutes. So I am gonna do this for now. Going to fold 5 deuce off. Yeah, so my mistakes, the one that I've made, they look just crazy or nothing like compared to the mistake that guy just made. So he limp jack 10 offsuit, then he min raised after he basically min 4 bet after someone raised. I 3 bet, then he min 4 bet, then I jammed, and then he called it off with jack 10 offsuit. I mean, what on earth is that? What on earth is that? King 4 off, definitely folding it. Okay, Jack 10 off, and this multi-way pot I am going to pass on the opportunity. Okay, got Queen 5 suited. There's a raise to 3x by this guy who's not a great player. Probably very marginal, but I am going to call it just so that we completely whiff it. And if he even breathes at this spot, we will be out. Yep. So when's our tournament starting? In 4 minutes, $25 deep stack. Okay, blinds are going up in the turbo. And I've joined a new table. Excellent. Right, so we're up against this player who limps again. We are going to isolate him with Queen 10 off because we are probably ahead of his range. Question is now whether he overfolds. I'm still going to c-bet. He does call. Yeah, not sure if this is the kind of player that I can bluff very well. Although maybe now, if he checks now, which he does, I am going to go for a big bet. And he does fold, because I think with the ace out there and the 4 spades, it is a good spot to bluff him. So that was nice. Okay, I'm on. Nine, 6 off. No, thank you. Pocket sixes. Definitely going to open. And pocket tens, also definitely going to open. Got 2 callers with our sixes. And I think this is kind of give up time. Also 10 to suited would have been a call against the raise, but not against the 3-bet, of course. Okay, so this player now 3-bets us. This is the big whale. And there is a 4-bet as well. This is a tough one. But the thing is, like, if I not cold call, but if I call this 3-bet, no 4-bet, then he might back jam or so. And so I'm a bit handcuffed. I have to fold, even though I have a decent hand. But yeah, that's the thing. You see, he now min clicks it, and then this guy won't be out. Right here we river a set. So I think I can go for some thin value, but he folded. And we would have, oh, look at this. This is really painful now. We would have had a boat there. And we were up against jacks though, so that is interesting. He had jacks and the other guy had ace king. So actually the tens were a good fold pre-flop. But yeah, on the flop we would have had a big hand. So had the guy not had ace king, I would probably have just called there and then I would have gotten all the other guy's money. But unfortunately he had ace king, so he 4-bet. Okay, we are getting 4-bet with our pocket kings. He made it a little small, just 3x there. I mean, this could be aces, but I'm just gonna jam this, like, whatever. I have an aggressive image, and if he has aces, so be it, but he doesn't, so that's good. He was just messing about. I do not mind that at all, but it is still very annoying that we did not manage to... Ooh, what happened to our 25? Did it get cancelled? So I signed up for a $25 tournament that was meant to start now, but it looks like it got cancelled because I can't see it anywhere. It's not registering. Yeah, it's gone. Okay, well, fair enough. Right, and here with pocket nines, unfortunately, there's a raise and a 3-bet and a 4-bet. Okay, I think pocket nines are probably not good. Ace queen, we are going to raise this one, or are we going to call actually? I'm just gonna call this because I do want to keep the whale in the pot rather than playing against this other player only. So we flop a gut shot. Deuce 3 against queens and against ace king all in there. Interesting. Okay, so he bets half pot now. I am gonna call again. He checks, and now the thing is, can we ever get him to fold a king or some pocket pair below? If not, we have the nut, no pair, so I'm going to check. Okay, king queen off against this short stack guy who raises to 3x. Okay, so we are now facing this big bet, and so it's a fold. Right, so let's see what other tournament we want to play. But first, let's raise ace jack off. And king 6 suited in a multi-way pot. I still think it's okay to call this. Getting 3-bet fairly small by this guy. Do I want to just rip it for 30 bigs? I think I do because I have this guy. Made it quite small there. Yeah, getting called by a6. That is fine with me. That's exactly... Okay, we're chopping, but... Oh, we're chopping... Oh, we chopped on the top one and we lost the bottom one. Well, that is a great one. Okay, limping jack 6 off. Small blind versus big blind. Getting raised, and now we can fold, but that's okay. We know that this guy likes to raise when check to. or not when checked to, but when we limp in the small blind. Yeah, it's a bit of a bummer. We we get ace jack versus a6. We run it twice, and we managed to lose one and chop the other one. But that's okay. We got it in very good there, so I do not mind. Okay, here I'm gonna start with checking my range, see what he does. Seems to be a bit on the aggro side. Okay, now we have second pair, that's pretty good, but still no reason to bet. Give him some rope. Well, he checks again, and now that we have such a strong hand, we can go for the overbet, and hopefully he was slow playing something, but no, sadly he just folds. Okay, so is there any other tournament? These are all satellites, so in 8 minutes I am going to play the 50 $50 PKO. Let's register for this one. And where are we here? Queen 8 off. No, thank you. And 6 off. Definitely a fold once there is the raise. Blinds going up. Well, that's in a turbo. That will happen a lot. Haven't played many hands in this tournament yet. But we're getting some okay hands in the cash games at least. Opening ace 10 offsuit on the button. Getting cold. And I think this is a good one to bet. And this is an even better one to bet now. So we're gonna go 12 big blinds. Got a call, and fortunately the board pairs, but we can still go for quite a bit of value. Unfortunately, we didn't get that on the river, but at least we got a little bit of value on the way. Ace 8 suited in the small blind. And our friend limps again, and this guy raises again. We are so deep against both of them that I'm very happy to call the 3.92 big blinds with a suited ace. And there they are all, and this is not a bad flop for us. I'll start out with a check. See what everyone does. Okay, now the two flush draws, we do have the ace, but I still think checking is okay. Yes, we allow them to stay in the hand to draw to maybe the backdoor flush or even river a set. But I think now we can probably go for some value. I mean, someone might have been slow playing an ace, but I still think we can get value from a queen, or potentially even another pair or a weaker ace. Okay, we're checking Jack 5 suited, and we got paid off by our friend. That is excellent. Okay, we're going to check raised. Small. I'm just going to call because we have some backdoors. So now I'm just going to overbet this one. Okay, I'm going to just call with the pocket threes because again we want the big blind in the hand. We do not flop a set, and now I'm out, and we got called unfortunately. Okay, he had a 6 there, right? Okay, that's fine. Overbet bluff didn't go through. I did not expect him to have a 6 because he check raised the flop and then checked the turn when the 6 came, but also the flush came in. So that was disappointing, but okay. Not all bluffs go through, and I'm surprised actually in live poker almost all my bluffs recently have gone through. There was just one, there was a rather small one that I got called, but whenever I made it big, I seemed to get away with it. So that was great. I don't know, will probably not continue now, especially now that I'm jinxing it, but yeah, this has been quite nice. Okay, so this other tournament is starting. It's a $50 PKO. And at the moment, there are 8 players registered. So I'll probably start with just this one table, yeah. Okay, well, we have 2 tables now because probably someone else registered. Starting with 100 bigs, folding the first hand. Okay, Jack 4. of red cards there on all the flops. All the tables, I should say. Okay, we got Queen Jack off and PKO. Definitely going to raise this one up. 3 bigs. Flop a gut shot. And he donks out for like half pot there. It's interesting. Okay, I am going to call this. This is not great, this card. We bet pot and now I'm just going to fold. King 6 off, certainly not good enough to call a raise. And I'm tempted to call Queen 10 offsuit against this guy's min raise, but it's not really a good multi-way hand. Okay, King 10 off the tournament. I think we can probably call this one in the small blind. Well, I'm not entirely sure. As I said, I'm a cash game player. Normally I wouldn't call with that ever. We can call again, and now we have two pairs. So we are going to donk this one. And this is a pretty nice one. And I'm going to bet again, fairly big, but not like crazily big. But unfortunately, he just folded. Nine four suited, I think, is a fold on the button. Start with a range check on 9-4 deuce, blind versus blind. I'm raising ace queen suited a little bigger than I normally would, because I was hoping that the button would call. Didn't happen. Well, this is interesting now. I'm gonna call here with my pair, though he made it quite big. And because I didn't filter at all, I'm going to bluff catch. He's basically saying he's got better than a 9, because I don't even think he would bet a 9 on the flop, on the turn, sorry. So yeah, he could have that, but I am okay to bluff catch. And yeah, he had an absolute airball. Okay, we're getting 3-bet by this friend again. I'm gonna call there. And when he bets pot, we fold. Yeah, so I didn't filter the big blind's range at all. He arrived on the river with pretty much every hand that he called with pre-flop, because the flop went check check, and then on the turn he just bet big, trying to get me off something. And then on the river he bet big again. But we called his bluff. Free flop against the whale, but not much good to us. Now we have an ace, but the problem is there isn't much we can do. Not much we can get value from. Bet half pot now. I mean, I'm just gonna call this, although that's probably very marginal, because he might, yeah, even as the queen. Okay, raising ace king, raising king queen, and here we've got king queen again. Here we are gonna go to 7. Here we are gonna go, well, oh yeah, let's just jam. And here we are going to fold. And here we are starting with a range check. Okay, we get called by pocket queens. Okay, that's a fair race. No, we don't really win, sadly. So we are eliminated of the PKO. Okay, well, it was short-lived here because he makes it so big. Ace-8 off is a fold. Well, we've not been very lucky in the tournaments, have we? I think I lost or flips twice to bust out. But yeah, that's what can you do? You should have run it twice in tournaments. Let's see if we can add another cash table for now. Well, there aren't any, but we can go on the wait list for this one. I will play more tournaments, but there aren't any available really for the next 25 minutes, which is why I've decided to add another cash table for now. Yeah, hardly any exciting hands at the moment. Nine, 4, 10, 4, 10, 9 off. Okay, 7, 6 off in the big blind. If the small blind folds, I will call the small raise because it's a tournament. Yeah, so let's call this. And this is a decent flop. We could even consider donking. Yeah, let's donk. Getting raised, that's fine. We can certainly call with a pair and straight draw. Now we do have the bottom end of the straight. If he has a jack, then so be it. I'm just gonna rip it in now. Unfortunately, he folded. Yeah, the thing is, like, if he has an overpair, do I get him to fold there? Maybe not. Maybe yes. Okay, we can just call King Queen suited in the small blind. Okay, this guy bets half pot. Well, we could consider raising, but I think with this draw I'm going to play it passively. And we now have the second nuts. He goes big. I think I just want to maximize against this guy. Never going to fold anyway, so I'm just going to jam my king high flush. If he has a flush, I don't think he will ever fold. But he folds. After he bet pot there, disappointing, but I think it was okay. No need to slow play against that guy. I have quite a bluffy image, I think, but I'm still going to go for the bet. And we get it through. Yay. Ace-5 suited. That's a decent flop. I will check this one behind if it checks to me, because I don't think I can get 3 streets of value from anything worse anyway. Well, okay, now we have quads. That's not too bad. So just tank for a bit and then call. And well, I think with the nuts we should just jam. Don't really expect him to call there. Although he does call. He had king high. He called with king high. Wow. And sadly this is not a bounty tournament now. But hey, I'll take it. So I'm confused. Why did he bet so big there? I mean, if it's a bluff, okay, but then if you bluff, then why do you call the shove? And did he think that king 8 was so amazing? Or he just was just pressing buttons all along and didn't really know what to do? I suspect that it is the latter. Okay, we're getting 3-bet. And I think with 9-7 suited we can fold. Ace king, jack 10 off. I'm gonna fold this. Okay, we're getting squeezed by the small blind after this guy raised. So I think now we can jam over the squeeze. Because if we pick up 17 big blind, fine. If we get called by jacks or so, fine as well. As long as it doesn't have aces or kings. And yeah, that's great. That's a great outcome. Getting 17 bigs there without a showdown. In case you're wondering, this table on the top right, I don't have a seat on it, I'm just on the waiting list. So that's why it's a bit small. I'm raising ace-9 off because the big blind is our whale friend, but now everyone folded anyway, so that's fine. I will not mind that. 10-9 suited, opening for the same reason. Normally I would just fold it, but I think it is plus EV to open it when you have such a whale in the blinds. But unfortunately, the button 3-bet us. Oh, and the fish 4-bet, so now I'm definitely out with 10-9 suited. We have king 7. Just gonna start with there. Oh, that ace king versus queens there. Ace jack suited in the tournament. Uh, 2.5 should be enough. And both players called. I am going to c-bet this now. Both players call. We now have a flush draw to go with our gut shot. I don't want to get jammed on. I'm just going to take my equity now to the river. And this guy now goes just over pot. Okay. In this case, I shall have to fold. Okay, I'm going to check about tournaments in a second, whether we want to add something. Okay, let's... Okay, so we got a break in the tournament, but we're continuing with the cash. Let me just see if there is anything interesting. So we can play the $10 deep stack, the $25 classic. Yeah, I think in 9 minutes, the 25 classic. That one. This one looks good. 2.2x. Okay, 10-8 off, just about. Hey, you're accepting this. I can go with a small bet, just keeping 2 overcards in or getting them to fold. Both is fine. So yeah, I've registered for the $25 Classic that starts in 9 minutes. Yeah, and on this table at the top here, doesn't seem to be a vacancy. I've been on the waiting list for a while now. But yeah, I think it adds a bit of fun to also play tournaments on the side, especially on a Sunday. Even though I am a cash game player and my main focus will still remain on cash games for sure. So ace-10 offsuit under the gun in a 7-handed game is actually a losing hand if you open it. But because of this cutoff, who is just a big whale, if you missed it earlier, he limp 4-bet Jack-10 offsuit and then called it off when I jammed and I had kings. So that is why I want to play pots against him, even though he now has position on me. I still think that is a good thing. And now I'm just going to go for value with top pair, top kicker against this player. He calls, and 7 completing is not amazing. 7 pairing, I mean, not completing. But I still think I can get him to call with a weaker 10 or an 8. He doesn't only have 7s, obviously, when he calls there. And he calls, and we win! Yep, so this is how ace-10 off becomes profitable from under the gun. Well, first of all, if you hit, it helps, but secondly, that's exactly it. Just getting relentless value from whales who will just be stations in this spot, and here it definitely worked very well. King 7 off is a fold to a 3x bet. I mean, probably pretty much any size bet on the button. Only exploitatively, what I like to do is when someone min raises on the button, I like to just 3-bet with almost my entire range. Okay, so here we got a raise, a 3-bet, a 4-bet, so I guess King Queen offsuit is probably not good then against this kind of action. And this guy now also 4-bets. No, it's a 5-bet actually. 3-bet and then 5-bet. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything strong, as we saw with Jack 10. He can do this with nonsense, but often he has actually had a decent hand, although here his king versus ace jack. That's the thing, like he just thinks he has a great hand with ace jack, but he doesn't actually. So unfortunately for him. And I think this is a different player, yeah. He's gone now. What was his name? Sacho Macho, yeah, that's it. Yeah, sadly, Sacho Macho is gone. Here in the tournament, betting range 25% and getting him to fold. That's excellent. Here we opened on ace king 4. I will just check. No, I don't have 3 streets of value, although now I have 2 pair. Now I can go for a big bet. He probably won't have much and he will just fold. But if he happens to have an ace or a draw or maybe even a king, he might call. Calling he does, and now I can just go for another overbet with both 2 missed flushes, and if he has an ace, he might call, but he snap folds. Which is okay too. Okay, queen 10 suited. I think in a tournament this is a call in the small blind. Or maybe I am a bit too passive. Okay, now I'm going to go for an overbet. And he snap folds. Great. It's good to know that he seems to be fit or fold. Didn't even see bet king high board. Okay, we're starting the tournament. I think then I will close this window where I can't get a game going anyway. So now we have 2 tournaments again, which is great. We got this new $25 classic. Queen 9 off. I think I want to raise now. I am one of the bigger stacks. Although I do have the bigger stack on the button and he min clicks me. But with Queen 9 off, that is one where I'm okay to fold. How many participants do we have in this one? 5 so far. Okay. Only 5 players. I'm sure there will be a few more joining soon. But yeah, these are all the warm-up tournaments. I know later today there will be nicer, bigger ones, the Coin Masters, and then there's also the Cash Game World Championship going on. But for now, this is nice. Opening pocket 6s. And we win our first hand in this new tournament. Yay. So what about you guys? Do you prefer tournaments or cash games? And I mean both watching and playing. Because I definitely prefer cash games. But I do like mixing it up a bit, playing some tournaments. Actually, I haven't played tournaments live for a year now, pretty much, except for one cash race at the poker room where I normally play cash, and I'm trying to get into that again. So it will be not next Sunday, but the one after will be a really cool tournament where 60 players will battle it out for around 40 to 45,000 pounds, and as a prize pool, and the first place prize includes a Vegas package for next year's WSOP main event. So I'm quite excited about playing that. I tend to play it like once or twice a year. I don't really have the time to do that. I have so many other commitments, but I really enjoy playing that, doing the cash race. And I get to play a lot of hours of cash per month, and then oh, Sacho Macho is back. I'm gonna raise it up then. Oh no, it's not back. Sorry, this is Vamosinho there. Okay. And we're getting 3-bet. We are super deep. We can set mine, I guess, because we're so deep, but 300 big blinds with pocket threes. If we get set over set, I'm just gonna fold. It's fine. Yeah, so I look forward to playing the tournament. Last time I had an absolutely crazy spot there. It was the stone cold bubble, so the next player busting would get nothing and everyone else would get like at least 600 or 700 pounds or so. And I had two big blinds left. I was under the gun. So in the next hand, I would have been big blind, and not only would I have had to pay the big blind, but also a big blind ante, which is another big blind. So both big blinds would have been gone. I would have been automatically all in. And then let me just play this hand. I'll tell you the conclusion in a minute. We have two pair, and we're now up against this one player. And I am going to overbet this because he might still call with a 10. Maybe he has the ace of clubs. But he folds. Right, so then what happened was it folds round to the small blind. The small blind thinks for a while and then he shoves queen jack offsuit, and I think that is a good play because the big blind is not short stacked but shorter stacked than the small blind, so the big blind has to basically even fold almost aces there. So in terms of ICM considerations, I mean, hand like jacks or queens are definitely folds. Aces and kings, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe aces are a call there, but it's like I'm basically about to bust out, and in the big blind, he just shouldn't be risking a lot there. But the guy snap called with pocket sixes, which is like, yeah, incredible. Okay, so here we have the scenario where I'm gonna 3-bet any two cards almost against the 2x raise from the button, and we get a fold. Great. So yes, it is a tournament, but it's still the same thing whether it's tournament or cash. Right, and then yeah, so the guy snap calls with pocket sixes, and board comes with a queen on it, no six inside, and the guy goes home, is out, busts on the bubble, and in the very next hand, obviously I am out as well. But I did min cash there, so that was very helpful. That was really cool. Okay, he now checks on this ace high board, which makes me a bit suspicious, so I am just going to check behind. But now that he checks again, well, I still think I'm gonna give up. Now I have almost a nut no pair, and I'm just gonna take my showdown equity, and he did have a 9, so yeah, that makes sense. But we were ahead pre-flop when we put money into the pot. Could maybe have gotten him off there, but the thing is, if you bluff big blind versus small blind, and we saw that earlier when I did a nice bluff catch, the problem is that you have such a wide range as the big blind, and if the small blind is half a thinking player, he will realize that, and that means that he can just bluff catch nicely there. Here I'm gonna go for a small bet with my now top pair. Okay, here we have to fold. Here with Jack 10 suited, just gonna raise it up. And here this guy now bets pretty big. I only have a bluff catcher, so I will just fold, even though I have top pair. But I think this is the guy, yeah, where I said he's fit or fold. So I think that's fair. King 5 suited. Well, we can go for a 3-bet. Jack 10 off, just about a call and cash. And we do get it through with the King 5. That's excellent. Okay, here we're going to overbet. And we get the fold. Getting cold. And so we're just going to start with a range bet in position with our 2 overs. Getting raised. So, and we are going to call. As I said, we have 2 overs. He now bets half pot. We're just gonna call again. And now that the flush completes and it's a 6, which makes it less likely that he has a set, or in this case then a boat or quads. He could of course have 7s, 3s. The only problem is that he now bets really big. Now if he had checked there, I would have bombed this one, but I don't have much fold equity, so that's unfortunate. So maybe he did have a boat there, or he backdoored into the flush. So it was costly, unfortunately. But I still think it was okay. Here we are super deep, a 4 deuce suited, 1 big blind. Is that? I mean, we are super deep, and this is a hand that can crack big hands. Well, not on this flop though. So I'm okay to fold this. Folding Jack 5 off in the big blind. I'm gonna open 10-7 off. It's really not a great hand, but this table has been rather passive. call by both players. It's interesting. I'm gonna start with a small range bet. I mean, it's not really a range bet, but against two players, I guess. But I think I can already get them to fold out a lot of hands that beat me, like Queen Jack, for example. So I'm gonna go rather small again. To keep like pocket pairs in there. And now on this flush completing river, I am going to go really big. I don't need to go super big because he will still not fold an ace. But he will fold everything that's not an ace or a flush, or obviously better. At least that's my hope. But he check raises us all in which case we have to fold, and we lost another one. But I still think my thinking was not too off on this one. I just maybe made the mistake of just joining the fray with a weapon that wasn't quite adequate. Oh, what's this? 1025. I thought was I still on the list for this one? Oh yeah, I was on the list, of course. Yeah, I was on the list. I just closed the window, but that still kept me on the list. But no, I don't want to play on another table. Ace 4, raising this one in the small blind. Yeah, so in cash games I try not to deviate too much from GTO openings, but in tournaments, because quite frankly, because I don't know the exact ranges for tournaments, I probably deviate quite a bit. I play quite loose, which hasn't worked very well so far. But I think at least we've found a good combination here of two tournament tables and two cash tables. In cash we've been doing okay, except for the one hand that I butchered in a 4-bet pot blind versus blind. I had ace 3, flop comes ace high, and then I called a turn shove where I didn't think the guy would ever really have an ace, but he did. He had ace queen, and so I lost both of those. Pocket sevens, let's open them. Cash, bottom right. Getting 3-bet. This time quite big, but I will call them. We're still super deep and still holds true with the set over set scenario, but I'm okay to just call here once. And we backdoor into the second nuts. So 9-7 beats us, which we block heavily. So I am going to go for a overbet now. Because if he has an overpair, he might call this. He does. Excellent. We got him there on the river with our overbet. That was really nice. Okay, ace queen off. And we can just start out with a small range bet on Jack Jack 10. We get min clicked, so we can call. The ace is actually nice for us, but he keeps barreling. Still, I am gonna call. He shoves half pot. He's really saying he has a jack there. But with this SPR, once I get there with my ace, I just have to bluff catch, which is unfortunate, probably. Yeah, he did have Jack 7. Okay, well, that's that. Would I like to re-enter in the deep stack turbo? Okay, sure, why not? Let's just play another one. Another bullet, a $10 tournament. So yeah, if there are any tournament experts here, let me know if I made a mistake there. I mean, I think I probably can tell without being a tournament expert, even as a cash player. I do know that players don't tend to overbluff in these scenarios. Okay, so here, okay, the problem is this person is quite short stacked, so I'm just gonna fold. I was gonna isolate with ace-5 suited, but I just don't have enough wiggle room there to maneuver. Okay, let's check this. I'm just gonna raise this one small. And we got it through. Flopping top pair. And the cash game, bottom left. We can now bet 2/3. He folds, okay. There are hands that he can still call us with there where he either has some sort of showdown value or a draw that he didn't bet on the flop. This time I just folded 10-7 off. learned my lesson. King 10 suited. Okay, that's a decent flop from my hand. Still gonna start with a small bet. And he folds. That's even better. Ace Jack off is a bit marginal here, but I am going to 3-bet it. We have Ace King in the tournament, so we're going to min raise it. Hopefully someone raises us. It's just a call, that's not great. I'm gonna range bet this, and I get a fold, that's excellent. Okay, we're getting cold 4-bet with our Ace Jack off, so gonna fold. Got Ace Jack off again, the very next hand. And this time everyone folds to our bet. I'm just checking how many players there are left. 19 out of 42. 11 get paid. And there's still another 5 minutes of late registration. That's interesting. That's probably worth doing it now, to be fair. Don't know what the starting stack was. I have 24,000. Did they get... Oops, sorry, I'll have a look at it later. I'm gonna fold. I just want to check whether they have made the guarantee. Don't know what the guarantee was, but the price pool is 600. Yeah, so they've made the guarantee, but still, that's quite good. So there are 42 players left. So yeah, if I double up, if I somehow double up, I would be okay. Okay, there's an all-in where I have King 8. Definitely folding. Pocket deuces as a fold in the hijack, even though it's tempting to play the ducks. The player to my left on this top left table is called Schere. And Schere, if he is German or Austrian or so, then that would be the word for scissors. This guy had a nice double up with his pocket aces. That's what we would need. We're raising king jack off, and we're raising king 8 off in the cache. Going to start with a range bet again. And we get it through, yes. Raising queen 10 suited. Getting cold. Gonna go for a range bet on this board again. Calls, and now look at this. We have 2 overs, a gut shot, and a flush draw. It's about 18 outs. I think I'm just gonna shove this one. He might fold a 7 or pocket 4s or a 3 or a 6. Yep, he folds. Great. Yeah, you can't play scared, and that's the nice thing online if you can play so many tournaments. When I play live tournaments, it's a bit different because I play them so rarely, so it's such a big thing if I play one of them that I don't want to just bluff off my stack. But you know, if you play a lot of tournaments online, you'll just learn that that's part of the game, and you can do that. I folded 8-3 off. I don't think it's necessary to limp it. Could have done. Was not great spot. Ace 10 off in the small blind against an under the gun raise. It's just a fold. Okay, folding 9-5 suited and don't have anything else to do on any of the tables. So let's just wait and see. Okay, I have joined a new table. With my 21 big blinds. We are now 20th out of 40. Still quite a lot of players in there. Okay, I'm going to 3-bet, king queen offsuit, small blind versus button. And we're getting 4-bet. Okay, I'm just gonna fold now. Don't have any history with him. Okay, we have ace king suited in the tournament. King 9 off and the button in the cache. Okay, this guy's all in, obviously calling with ace king suited. And he's got pocket threes. It's a race, and we lose once again. So we have just not been very lucky with our coin flips. I think we busted in 3 tournaments where we lost coin flips, and I only won one small one before I even started the stream. So yeah, very unfortunate. And now we have queens, and we are up against 2 players on this board. Well, as long as no one has a king, I think we should be okay. Yep, I won this one. Let's see if we can stage a comeback now. But yeah, very unfortunate with the ace-king. This one was even suited. Okay, jack 6 suited. I'm gonna call this because I'm just getting 1,000,000 to 1 in pot odds. And this is our chance to jam. If he, well, he calls because he has a queen. But look at this. We suck out. We suck out. There's hope. There's hope. We're back to 16 big blinds. And this guy raised. Shall we just jam with king 10 off? No, we can't jam. I think I'm just gonna fold. Also, there is this short stack in the big blind, so I don't want to call there. But he folded in the end. Okay. So now I'm gonna shove with my king high. 16 bigs is okay. Small blind only has 10. Big blind has me covered, but it's not a PKO, so he's not incentivized to call off wider. He does still call because he has pocket kings. Okay, so now we've run out of luck. Okay. This did not go very well. I'll check if there is another tournament that I want to play, but yeah, I've just not been doing well in tournaments, sadly. So here we're definitely starting with a c-bet, and he folds. Okay, let's see what the next hand is here, and then I'll search for a tournament. Yep, this next hand is aces, so definitely going to play this one. But as usual, no action unless the big blind decides to do something. Well, he calls, that's fine. We'll start with a 2/3 pot bet on this board. He calls the 6 pairs. Think I'm gonna check behind now and then see what he does on the river, either bet big, raise, call, whatever. Okay, so we got ace king. We're definitely gonna jam this. Here pocket fours I'm gonna fold, and here I'm gonna bet almost pot with my aces. But sadly, no call from him. Okay, I just want to play this king 10 hand and then I'll search for a new tournament. Yeah, I still don't think I did that much wrong in the tournament, but if you just lose all your flips, there's not much you can do. Okay, so here I'm going to start with a very small bet. He calls. Gonna go half pot. We still have 2 overs if he calls. It could bail us out. Come on, fold, yeah. Good man. Or woman. Okay, now we have pocket 3s. Should we just open jam pocket 3s? No, I think I just want to fold pocket 3s in this early position. Right, so we have... Yeah, there is nothing really. The $10 deep stack we could late reg. Yeah, why not? $10 deep stack late registration. What's the situation? Another hour of because it's deep stack, right? Or do we want to wait for the $100, $10? Yeah, I think I'll play these in 25 minutes. And in the meantime, I will just open a new cash game. Okay, we got King Jack. Oh, what is happening here? King 8 suited. I think I want to fold this. Right, where are we here? Okay, there are none. They're actually quite big waiting lists as well. Let's see, 50 NL. So there's only 5 10s that I can play. Okay, let's play 5-10 then. Let's play 5-10 if we can't get anything else. So, for the moment we only have this one tournament on the top right, but as I said, in about 20 minutes or so I will add one or two more tournaments. Okay, let's raise ace-9 suited. And king-queen suited. Okay, we'll start with a check. Okay, here we also have to check against two players and we're out of position on this terrible flop. I'm gonna go with a 2/3 pot bet. Not a bot, a bet. Get called. Here we can definitely follow our king high. Can we get called by a weaker hand? Just not sure what weaker hand would call us. So I will just give up against this aggressive player, and he has ace-jack anyway. So didn't think I could go for thin value, so that's fine. King 8 suited is a fold. So I'm just advertising a bit for the stream. Which is why I'm just writing this on every table that the people can come and watch the stream, because I think it's can be nice for them to join and watch the stream here. Sorry. What's happening here? start with 2/3 pot bet again with our 2 overs and a gut shot. Not 2 overs, 1 over and a gut shot. This is not a great card for us. And this even less. Can we get him to fold anything? I think it'll be difficult to get him to fold a queen or a jack, so I'm just gonna check back and give up. Open jack 4 suited here. Could have actually made 2x rather than 2.5, but we are on the button. Okay, now we have a gut shot. And now I think I will just... Shall I just jam? I think I'll just jam this. Because the ace is quite a scary card for him probably. And yeah, he folds, good. And I think I can rep the ace there as the pre-flop progressor, and also I can rep shoving there with 2 flush draws and a straight draw out there, so I think that is quite plausible, and they will fold bluff catchers a lot there. We have jack 4 again, this time in the big blind, and this time not suited. Got 8-5 here, we got 8-5 there, we just had 8-5 at the other table. Okay, can fold the 5-3 off now. Getting 3-bet, fine, then we're gonna fold jack 9 off. Sorry, I just went to get a glass of water, so I missed a tiny bit of action. But I hope you didn't miss me too much. So back to the tournaments. Where are we? So the $100. We're gonna play the $10 mini kickoff. And we're gonna play the deep stack turbo. Or should we play the $10 PKO? I think I'll play the deep stack turbo. This one's nicer. And then what was the other one? The $10. Well, how long? Late registration is over 2.5 hours, or is 2.5 hours. That's actually a little too long. What about this one? This one is an hour and a half. So okay, let's do this one then, the PKO. Okay. Here we're gonna call 5-4 suited. I'm gonna check back. I'm gonna raise this now. And we get him to fold, that's great. $10-9, just about a call, I think, against such a raise. Gonna overbet this. And we get it through with our 10 high, great. So I will, because I need to watch some, well, to watch, I don't want to put more than 4 tables here at once, really. So I will have to get rid of some of the tables. So this one I will get rid of. And I think this, where we've run so good, we can also close. Okay, we got cold 4-bet, great. Have to fold ace check off. But we have ace king on the bottom right, where we are going to 3-bet. And we get it through. Okay, c-betting range on king 4-3. Ace-10 will be good enough to c-bet on ace-king 5 because he can have a lot of weaker ace-x hands. He can have king-x hands, he can have jack-10, queen-jack, queen-10, or any spade combination. This 8 doesn't change that much, except that ace-8 now has 2 pair, but I am going to give him a free card because he can now either bluff, or if he checks, I will go for another street of value. Okay, so we can go 2/3 or 3/4. He's tanking, although I think he might be busy with other tables because he hasn't been the quickest to react anyway. Okay, so the 2 tournaments are about to start. And we need to figure out what we'll do soon. So I have these 2 tables that we're closing. So this one's closing after this hand. And then that shouldn't be a problem. I think he folded, unfortunately. Did he? Okay, we're getting 3-bet by the big blind. Quite a small 3-bet, so I'm going to call. And flopping an open-ender on this board. A check behind. Okay, so we have king high, reduce to ace high, but I think now it will be hard, but I can still go with an overbet. And he folded, great. Okay, so we are out here, that's great. So we have ace jack in the tournament straight away, and there's a raise in 3-bet, okay. So, oh no, so, click the wrong button. So what I want to do is to increase this window to have it here, and this other one will soon come to the top left, but I just need to finish the cash table there. Also, I need to buy some CHP because otherwise I might run out and then I won't get any rake back, so I really have to add some there. Okay, so last hand on this table on the top left, and then we can move the tournament there. Getting 3-bet again. I think that's fine to just fold. King 10 suited, unless maybe someone cold calls. Which is not the case, so folding it is. Oh, I am now small blind. I didn't expect that. I was gonna leave, but now they made me small blind because we skipped the big blind. So now we're playing another round. Because I said skip out next big blind, not skip out next blind. Okay, well, then we have to wait for another 2 or 3 minutes before we can move the tournament table there. But I mean, we have 7 deuce off there, so it's not really a big problem. Okay, ace 5 suited against a raise. I'm just going to 3-bet this. Pocket sixes. The stack depth, I think, is an all in the 25 classic. And he does fold. Here, unfortunately, we get 4-bet, but I think with this hand we still want to call. Even though he probably has a strong hand, but we are going to call. And now we can fold. Well, it's quite a costly round that we're adding here. And now we have ace queen as well. Oh, this is 10NL. Oh yeah, I forgot this was the 10NL table. Okay, well, I think now I have to fold my ace queen. That's fine. And we can soon close the table. Just want to see the conclusion of this hand. Well, not very exciting. Actually, I might... No, it's not the end. I still have this one last hand. Actually, 2 hands. Yeah, one more hand. Queen jack off. Let's raise this one up. No action. Don't mind. Queen 8 suited. The cutoff. Well, this table seems to be not be doing very well either. Okay, jack 3 suited. I am going to call this. And now I'm going to fold it. Sorry if it's a bit confusing now, but I am going to close this table just now. So this means that now we can move the tournament table to the top. So I have a 25 deep stack turbo and a 25 classic. And the two tables at the bottom are still cash tables. Okay, so we've dropped under 20 big blinds in the $25 Classic again. What's the situation looking like? Sorry, this was the wrong button. This one, 19 out of 25 with 6 getting paid, so we still have a lot of way to go. Okay. Okay, we kind of have to go with this now. I'm gonna just donk one big blind. I'm gonna check. Okay, king not great for me. Just going to check again. Check it down. Hopefully he'll check as well. If he bets, he probably has me beat anyway. But he does check and we win everything. Yes. That's great. Shame again that it's not a bounty tournament. And we even got that extra 1.8 big blinds on the flop. Limping 8-5 off. And betting small with our 2 overs. Okay, now we have an open ender. And we get him to fold. That's great. And we have ace-jack suited in the big blind. In this deep stack turbo. There's a raise from early position. Well, not quite super early, but still early enough. And I think I just want to call with ace-jack suited. Well, I mean, if you flop the nuts, that's not too bad. We are quite deep, so I am going to go with a big bet. If he has anything here, he will call my big check raise. Unfortunately, he folds. I thought if he has a king, not going anywhere. Also with a queen, especially if it's king jack, queen jack. so this, I shouldn't forget that this is a tournament here. I almost forgot it. I was like, why do I only have 81 big blinds? Well, because it is a tournament. Okay, ace-5 suited and the deep stack. I am going to raise this. Okay, we flop bottom pair. So I am going to go with a small bet. C betting king 10 on 3 deuce deuce. And here now I think I've definitely run out of value. So just calling there. And when he checks, I am happy to check back, but first I want to 3-bet my king 5 off. I'll check back and hopefully win. Well, I don't win against pocket nines, but thought hopefully win against ace queen or ace jack or so. Here I'm gonna fold ace 3 suited. Okay, here I'm just gonna start with a check with my second pair. Okay, this guy just jams when I have jack 10, so I need to fold. And I am going to check behind once again. He now bets quite small. It could be an ace, could be anything. Definitely need to call here. And he had pocket threes, so don't know why he bet that there, but that's good for us. We win. Raising ace 10 off in the only cash game left. Cash game left, yeah. Getting 3-bet by the small blind. So we're going to 4-bet on the button. And now we're getting jammed on. Okay, great. We have to fold. Seven deuce off, not exactly a hand I can do much with. Calling 6-3 suited in a multi-way pot. Okay, now with this ace, this might it might favor someone, but we do have quite. Actually, no, I'm gonna check raise this one. Yeah, there we go. Fortunately, he calls, and now I'm just gonna shove, and I know. Oh, he got snapped off. Oh, he had. Look at this. He had 7-6 of hearts, and we. Okay, well, fine. We are out again with a bluff, but yeah, I mean, I did not have another option to win, and I thought he could have a lot more than just a draw there. So, great. Here I am going to just call. And now we turn top pair. I think with my top pair decent kicker, I do want to go for value. Well, he folds, okay. Gonna shove queen 10 off for 15.6 bigs. As a limper. Okay, so I'm just trying to find tournament again. Not tournament, cash games. Cash games. Here's a cash game. And also I do want to buy some CHP. Because otherwise where are we here? Fold. Okay. Because otherwise we will not have enough to get our rake back. So that's a very important point when you play on this side, that you make sure you have enough CHP in your account, because otherwise you won't get the rake back. And as you hopefully know, rake back is super important. Raising king jack off on the button. Flopping top pair. action. Ace jack off in the lower jack. Folding 5-3 off to button raise. And we have ace king suited. This is another hand where we'll probably go all in. Ace jack. It's another one where we're trying to 4-bet, and we're just 4-bet ace king after a raise and a 3-bet. We are jammed on again, so today our 4-bets are not working at all. And ace king versus ace king. So we'll just chop. Calling 7-5 suited. Have to fold 7-5 suited there. We have a backdoor, a couple of backdoors, but they're bad backdoors, and I don't even have, I can overcard to second pair, let alone to top pair. Okay, going to isolate the limper. But everyone folds, that's fine too. Okay, ace jack off. That's a very awkward stack size. Here we're going to 3-bet. And here ace jack will have to be a shove. Okay, a flop top pair, okay, kicker. And once again, we lose on all in. This was not a flip though. Classic. Can I? Does it make any sense to re-enter this one? No, I won't re-enter it. I'd rather play another cash table. A7 suited. Gonna call this flop top pair, top kicker. He bets quite big, but obviously we can't go anywhere just now. And now I feel quite good with top pair, a top 2 pair. I mean, we lose to aces or some weird 7s, 3s, and deuces. I do want to go like something like third pot if he has kings, queens, jacks, tens. And now I will just jam this one. And he folds. Right, here, Jack 10. We can call this. That's a pretty good flop for our hand. He goes pot. Wow, okay. Well, then I guess we have to call. Now we have an open ender to go with our diamond. So now I think we can jam. Can get him to fold some. Yep, he does fold. Yeah, so this is something that until recently I realized that I did wrong, that I would have just called in that spot, but it's just okay to jam. You got a lot of outs if called, and you can get them to fold quite a bit. So that was fine. Right, I am going to try to find another cash game to play. So let's see if we reduce the buy-ins again. Here 1025, we can play this one. Ooh, we have pocket kings. That's a good hand. I definitely want to play that. Fortunately, we get called, but hopefully someone squeezes. Oh, sorry. Okay, well that's pretty good. We are happy to call that one. And we're up against ace king, and there are two aces on board. That is excellent. That's just what the doctor ordered. It's like I've been pretty unlucky, I must say, with all-ins today. I won one where I came from behind, a small one, and I won a flip at the very beginning, which was also a small one. And then I think I busted out of 3 tournaments with where I flipped, and now I lost one with ace jack against ace king. Okay, that's fine, but then lost here with kings against ace king. Not cool. Okay, this guy 3-bets us. We are going to... Is this a jam or is it just a 4-bet? Okay, let's just 4-bet. Okay, we can call. Okay, I mean, if he has it, he has it. It's blind versus blind. We've been bullied quite a bit today. My has ace king. Fair enough. And at least we won this one. So that's fine. Okay, he goes pot. just fold. Here ace jack off, I would have done something, but not after a 3-bet. Pocket nines is a raise against. I mean, it's a 3-bet against button raise. Getting cold 4-bet. So then we will have to call the cold 4-bet. And this is a terrible, terrible, terrible flop for pocket nines after you got 4-bet. Well, I'm literally never good. Like, what does he do with this? Ace jack, maybe? So, unfortunately, we will have to fold. And here I went for the c-bet with pocket fives and the button and got check raised, so just calling. He keeps barreling. I'm gonna call again. He now bets big on this river. Okay. Can have it. If you show that much aggression, you can have it. King 8 off. The fold against the raise, of course. A6. Sorry, I'm being a bit quiet, but there hasn't been much to say over the last minute or so. Okay, opening King Jack, getting called by the cutoff. Okay, and we flop the nuts again. I think with the same hand. Flopped them earlier, so exploitatively I'm just going to start with a c-bet. I mean, if he's got pocket sixes, he's going to check fold or check and then fold anyway. I'm not going to start barreling. But if he has an ace, a queen, a flush draw, then could get some money out of him. Unfortunately, that is not the case. I'm going to raise ace 4 off. He calls. Going to c-bet my middle pair. And I take it down. I open queen 8 suited. I know it's a bit marginal, but there's not much happening, and so I just want to play some hands. Here I am going to c-bet, queen 8 on ace king king. It's raising me. I am going to three-bet this again. He calls, unfortunately. Now he donks again. Oh, sorry, not again. He didn't donk earlier, but now this is a donk. Okay, I'm gonna give up. Let's open ace king. And everyone folds. Pocket fours, just gonna fold. Not quite profitable in that spot, in that position, in the hijack. Okay, we get called by this player again, and now he donks half pot. Just gonna call. Now we have second pair. He bets 3/4. I'm gonna call again. And now he bets half pot. Do I wanna jam? I think I wanna jam. I don't know if I can get him to fold an ace. But I can't. Well, he has ace 5, okay. And there goes our stack. Great. But I think it was a good jam there. But I didn't quite consider that he could have, that he has two pair, and if he's just a fish, then he will call there. Here we're going to go with a small c-bet in this 3-bet pot, and we take it down. Not so great hand. Yeah, maybe I wasn't deep enough as well when I jammed there when the flush came in. Just taking a few notes on this player. Joined a new table in the tournament. How are we standing? We are 19th out of 22 with only 4 getting paid. Okay. But that's not the end of it because we still have 44 minutes of late registration. Here we have ace queen. Well, that's a decent flop for ace queen. Definitely starting with a small bet. But of course now they didn't have anything and you just folded. Okay, pocket eights. Getting 3-bet. I think with pocket eights we have a call. That's a marginal one, but it is a call. Yeah, bets big. I think this is probably quite marginal already, but I'm going to call. The jack, not great for me either. Bets big again. Just gonna call again. This is being a bit aggressive. I'm not sure if he would even bet. Aces and kings always double barreling there. If he bets again, now we will fold. He does bet again, so we fold. So wasted quite a bit of money again because we did not believe him. Okay, so multi-way pot, I can, even though I'm quite short, think it's okay. But there is a squeeze. And the big blind. Here with king 8, I'm just gonna check again. Give him the opportunity to bet thinly with maybe a jack or a 10. And once he doesn't oblige, I'm gonna overbet this river. And he calls, and he has two pair. Oh, how did he? This is just my luck again. Right, I am going to fold ace-4. This is my luck today. I waited into the river when then he miraculously makes two pair with jack-6. And then I overbet and he calls. Great. So we're still in the tournament, by the way. Top left, but not that much happening. I wonder whether that was a mistake to call there with ace-4 suited in the small blind, but I think even though I only had like 30-ish big blinds, I still think it's okay. In such a multi-way scenario and with only the big blind to act behind us. But unfortunately he decided to squeeze. So, not great, not cool. Yeah, we'll have a break in the tournament, but no break in the cash games. So let's just continue here. Ace Jack, nice, and on the button. Jack 7 off is a fold even to a min click. Um, 8-5 off, I'm gonna fold. King 7 suited, I can open this and cut off. action. King 10 off, borderline open in the hijack. Ace 6 suited, definitely opening in the, what was it, low jack. Have to fold my King 10 to button raise. C betting A6 on Jack Jack deuce. Getting a fold is good. And we have ace queen. There's a pretty big raise, but we have a pocket pair and I want to 3-bet this. And he folds. We didn't get any action with ace queen, and hopefully we'll get some action with kings. Okay, that's a great spot to squeeze after a raise and a call. So we just raised this player, but unfortunately he doesn't fall for it, and the other one folds as well. That's unfortunate, because I just 3-bet him down here in the bottom left, and then the very next hand, the top right, I 3-bet him again as a squeeze. So I thought he might be having enough, but no, sadly he did not fall for it, and the caller didn't fall for it either. We're back in the tournament. But not everyone is back. This player is evidently not at his computer yet. I'm opening 8-7 suited in the cutoff. Get jammed on, have to fold. At 7 suited, I will just call. Normally I like 3-betting against early position raises with such a hand, but not against this player. We know that he is sticky. He sees me as a bluffer. Here with a gut shot, bottom pair, and backdoor flush draw. Nothing else to do than to call. This is nice. Now we even have a straight flush draw. Keeps barreling, but that's fine. I am going to call. But unfortunately, we kind of break out. What happened here? Did I fold automatically? Not sure what happened there. Was my time bank so short? Because it felt like 2 seconds. I'm going to go for the bet 3-bet again in this scenario, and this time it works, and I'm limping 10-3 suited, but he won't have it. Okay, getting quite aggressive now. Okay, we have the pocket aces. Have to fold queen 3 in the tournament. 10-5 suited is a fold. With the aces, everyone just snap fold. 10-5 suited is a fold. Okay. The tournament, not much has been happening. Blinds are going up. I have changed the table. Okay. So now I have how many blinds? Well, still 17. Small blind to fold. How are we only 3 players at this table? Of 27. What is going on here? Of 29 even. That's weird. Okay, this is a decent flop from my hand. Okay, so now gonna go aces again. And again everyone snap folds. Again everybody snap folds when I have aces. And now I have kings. Ooh, I have kings on 2 tables. Including the tournament. Let's see if everyone folds again. Oh, there's a call. That's fine. Gonna go with a small c-bet. And we're getting 3-bet by this player. That's great. So we can 4-bet kings. Should we even jam kings there? I'm gonna jam kings. And we get called by queens. Yes, that's a result. That's exactly what we want. But we run it twice and we only win one of them. Great. But we're now jamming our set. Hopefully he doesn't have a jack, but also he snap folds. But yeah, this was annoying that we just chopped with kings versus queens. And then earlier I had the situation where, well, I'll tell you in a second. I'm gonna raise this guy up for value now. I had, what was it, only an ace jack versus ace 6. We ran it twice. And okay, I'm gonna just check this one down. We ran it twice, and the first one we chopped, and the second one I lost. So yeah, not being very lucky today. Oh, yeah, pocket 6 is okay. Well, yeah, That's just not running good at the moment, but that's okay. But yeah, it is frustrating. You had aces twice and snap folds both times. Then I have kings against queens. We get it all in pre. We still just managed to chop. And now ace queen versus 6 is okay. That's not like terrible to lose that, but also annoying. Okay, what's this? Oh yeah, we are again. This guy just bought the button there. Okay, I am definitely going to raise this one up. I don't want to go too big because I think they're probably both very weak. Okay, this guy had an ace, fine. Yeah, they were very weak there, so again, not really any joy with queens. But at least I didn't run my queens into kings like the guy before. But yeah, I like that. Even Solver does that, but exploitatively it's even better to jam kings if you get 3-bet by the big line specifically, because the big blind typically has a fairly strong 3-betting range against early position, because most players don't find the bluffs, but they will find their queens, jacks, tens maybe, ace king, ace queen. And if you jam, then a hand like queens and jacks and ace king will almost certainly call. And so that's why I really like jamming kings, and I also like jamming ace king there. Okay, we have ace queen in the tournament. This might be the hand that we shove. Yes, because we are at 23, 24 big blinds. He raised. I'm absolutely shoving. He snaps us off with ace king. Okay, so that's that. Oh no, we won it. Oh, I didn't even see we have a straight. Yes, okay. Yay. So the one time that we actually have the weaker hand coming from behind was when we were favorites or flipping, we couldn't win. This guy is all in now for not much money. I am gonna call the 1.15. And we are ahead. Well, we were. Oh yeah, we are ahead. We are winning it. Great, yeah. Oh yeah, we had the deuce. I thought he had the deuce. Great, so we busted him, but once again, no bounty. In the bounties, we didn't manage to bust anyone. And it's like the fourth player or so that we've busted in regular tournaments, but well, what can I say about my luck today? It just fits in very nicely. Right, so we are 7th out of 29 with 6 getting paid. Okay. But late registration still for another 21 minutes. Pocket queens again. King 6 off. I'm going to raise it up because I do expect him to call with weaker hands. Sadly, I can't bluff him because he caught me bluffing earlier. So that's not great. Speaking of not great, this flop, when you have queens and the flop comes ace 10-3 against 2 players, one in position, is just all pretty awful. And then he also bets big, and I I have to fold. Very frustrating at the moment. But we have ace-jack in the tournament, on the bright side. But Flipmaster is tanking forever. Okay, so now we can raise. And now we have ace 10. That's fine too. Raise it up. Get called. I have top pair, top kicker. We're still quite deep, so I'll start off with a check, especially out of position on a wet board. Okay, that's not great at all. One of the worst cards in the deck. And he bets. I will call. But problem is I'm now really just bluff catching. He bets quite small, so will he ever? So I only have to be good around 20-22% of the time. Or not even actually. Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, it's about 22. I will pay him off. Yeah, he had the bottom end of the straight. Yeah. But I guess it's okay for that price. It's an offer against low jack raise. I'll just fold it. Top pair, good kicker. C betting there. I'm gonna call king jack suited, just so that I can fold here. Okay, so he donks now on this. Fine. Then we'll just call. And here we can fold king jack. Okay, so now that he checked on the river, I'm going to go for more value. Can get called by queen 10, jack 10, 10 9, 10 8. But he folds. Okay, there is an all-in for 18 bigs. We have to call 16 to win 23. I think we're not going anywhere with our pocket tens, so we are calling. And we are up against ace queen. And there's the queen, and there's another queen, and there's the king. Okay, so that one we did lose. Another flip, so I think it's the fourth flip, 4 out of 4 on stream today that we're losing. You can't win tournaments if you keep losing your flips. It's just how it goes. And now we're back to 14 big blinds. But on a more positive note, we have pocket jacks in the cash game. And on a negative note, everyone folds once again. 5-3 off. I don't know. Is this even a call here? I mean, I'm just gonna fold. It can't be a big mistake to fold 5-3 off. King Queen suited. This will probably be our all-in hand in the tournament. The raise, but I'm okay to just jam. No problem there. Even if he calls with something like ace-10, it's okay. And we might get him to fold ace-5, for example, or anything else. But there is a small blind raise, which is not great for us. And he has ace-king. Okay, so that's it then in the tournament. Again, we didn't cash in a single tournament. Not gonna re-enter it either. Okay, flop middle set, which is not bad. C-bet and probably a fold. No, it's a call, okay. Now, definitely overbetting this. Let's see if we get a call. We do. And 7, we're not afraid of that, so definitely going very big once again. Can we get... How big do we want to go? 49? 49 it is. Fortunately, now he folds. He might have had a flush draw. Ace King versus Ace King. Ooh, didn't mean to make it that big. So I think cash games we actually won a little bit today, despite a few egregious mistakes. But it was just the tournaments that killed us, and that's very frustrating. And I know tournaments are very high variance, but I've just been doing very poorly in them. As I said, I am a cash game specialist, not tournament, but I might need to do some studying there because it wasn't pretty. But of course, as I said, if you keep losing your flips, I lost 4 out of 4 flips, so like, yeah, that's not gonna end well. Okay, so this is it for today. Thank you very much for watching.